In a dubious historic first, Kevin McCarthy has been axed as Speaker of the US House of Representatives. This followed a brutal rebellion by some of his own partymen, far-right Republicans who were furious over his cooperation with Democrats. The maneuver laid bare the chaotic levels of infighting among Republicans heading into the 2024 presidential election, which is almost certainly led by Donald Trump, who is of course making dubious history of his own as the first former or serving president to be the target of multiple criminal indictments. The first ouster of a speaker in the US House's 234-year history was supported by only a handful of right-wing Republican hardliners. However, the House is almost evenly divided, and with Democrats joining those 8 rebel Republicans. Rather than rushing to McCarthy's rescue, he had no way to survive. The 58-year-old former entrepreneur had sparked fury among conservatives when he passed a bipartisan stopgap funding measure over the weekend backed by the White House to avert a government shutdown. Florida Republican Matt Gaetz, who forced the removal vote, gambled that he could oust McCarthy with just a few Republicans, helped by Democrats who were reluctant to bail out a speaker who only recently opened a highly politicized impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. The Republicans were warned by their leadership about plunging the party into chaos, but Gaetz, who has repeatedly complained about McCarthy failing to honor agreements made with conservatives, retorted by saying, "Chaos is Speaker McCarthy. The reason Kevin McCarthy went down is because nobody trusts Kevin McCarthy. He has made multiple contradictory promises, and when they came due, he lost." Democrats, too, had no love lost for McCarthy, pointing to his decision to renege on a deal with Biden on spending limits, agreed earlier this year, in high-stakes talks over the federal budget. The new Democrat coalition, a bloc of pro-business Democratic lawmakers, described McCarthy as a simply not trustworthy man. And Congressional Progressive Caucus Chairwoman Pramila Jayapal, a leading leftist, vowed to let Republicans wallow in their pigsty of incompetence, as she put it, rather than rescue McCarthy. The tussle came 2 days after the House and Senate passed a measure to avert a costly government shutdown, both with big bipartisan majorities, by extending federal funding through mid-November. Republicans were furious, seeing their chances dashed for forcing massive budget cuts. They accused McCarthy of a flip-flop, saying he had promised an end to hastily prepared stopgap legislation, hammered out with the support of the opposition, and a return to budgeting through the committee process. The writing was on the wall after Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries encouraged his members to oust McCarthy. Every Democrat then joined 11 rebel Republicans to reject a preliminary motion that would have blocked the final ouster vote. With McCarthy out, a temporary speaker put the House into recess until a permanent replacement is elected.
I ended up being the 55th Speaker of the House, one of the greatest honors. I loved every minute. Doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it is necessary. I don't regret standing up for choosing governance over grievance. It is my responsibility. It is my job. I do not regret negotiating. Our government is designed to find compromise. I believe I can continue to fight, maybe in a different manner. I will not run for Speaker again. I'll have the conference pick somebody else.